Hello and welcome to this episode of Rapid Mix. Today is quite unique as we will be bringing the spotlight of one of Africa's finest sound engineer. He is the chief sound engineer at the largest or the biggest production company in Africa. I'm talking about Bolaji Williams. He's a Grammy nominee. He's worked with the biggest name. Name them. When you talk about Afrobeats, he works behind the scene, projecting and promoting Afrobeats. My name is Esther Omeno, and you are welcome to this episode of Rapid News.
My names are Olajola Williams, aka Phazehop. Um, I'm a professional sound engineer, music producer, entrepreneur, songwriter, just music genius. Yeah.
I love the fact that you added professional sound engineer
Yes.
to your profile. As a sound engineer, what do you do?
Well, there are different aspects of sound engineering. There's cable scene engineering, there's live sound engineering, there's digital engineering, and they are all subgroups of sound engineering. When you say cable scene engineering, let's say you're attending a concert, you understand, and they are setting up the speakers. The wires are going everywhere. There's microphones here, this, that. Some people are plugging in wires, to make this speaker to work, to put these speakers up there, to plug, and all the cables going on. They call them cable scene engineering. That's their job. There's also um, live mix engineering. The person that sits in front of the board in the concert mixing. Have you gone to all this experience?
Yeah.
Those kind of production.
Is that where you belong?
So I'm getting somewhere.
Okay.
So that's the live sound engineer. There's now digital engineering. The guys that work in the studios. Sit down in the studio, mix your voice, take your vocals, sound design, movie score, and all those things. So that's like sound engineering in all. And then I happen to be blessed to be able to do all three of all the aspects of sound engineering. I started out as a cable scene engineer. I was learning from my dad from the age of 10.
Wow.
10, 11. I started following him too. He used to engineer for Fuji musicians, Barrister, and all these guys. He had live sound instruments, so I was learning cable scene engineering. And then when you know cable scene engineering, you will now proceed to live sound engineering, the orga. Then I was doing all of that, and then I entered the digital part of it, which is the studio part of it. Like, okay, I need to learn this, I need to learn that. And I've been doing it since that time. I've been kicking it well, up until this time. So that's my journey concerning sound engineering.
So, as a sound engineer, you've done this for perhaps 2 decades or more.
Yeah.
Would you say your father was a huge influence to the path you've towed so far as a professional sound engineer?
Well, yes, my father was really, really, um, has really, really been a major influence in this part for me. However, I've done most of the things that he could not do.
You've taken it a notch higher.
Yeah. So he is a major influence in my career, and then you know Olamide too was a major influence in me, following up with this career. Yeah.
And how would you describe your journey? So you started off as a
Well, the truth is, I started off as an engineer under my dad, and then I also had like a music group. I was singing in a group, like three of us, like three guys, like after a while, maybe by 2003, 2004, the group dissolved, but I carried on, and then I keep reinventing myself up until this moment.
Bolaji, you've been doing this for roughly 2 decades now. How would
Yeah.
you describe your journey so far as a sound engineer? So you've grown to that part where you're now the chief sound engineer for the biggest production studio in Africa. No, it's not Nigeria, it's not West Africa, but the entire African continent. How would you describe your journey?
Well, my journey has been very interesting. You know, I didn't come from a rich family, and then, but it has been a rough one, very rough. I promise you, very rough. And then at the same time, it has been a journey where I put in so much and get almost close to nothing. Most people will just switch to doing something else. I didn't I didn't get the recognition that was due, that is due to me in time. But we bless God, we are here now. There's no there's no victory without sacrifices.
Yeah.
There's nothing has ever come easy for anybody.
So you made mention of not being recognized, and I am forced to ask you what exactly you mean when you say not being recognized. But I know that recently you've had your Grammy recognition, like nomination rather, and I know you've been working, behind the scene. But when you say recognition, what are these recognitions that you feel you would have gotten way earlier and you didn't get, but somehow years down the line you're beginning to get those recognitions?
Well, I've done so many projects in the past, like so many projects. Some you won't even get the credit that you did it. It will not even be in your name. It will just be blind. They are not putting anybody's name. Some, you know, you can just come into the limelight. You can just that time social media was not so powerful, unlike now that projecting yourself is now in your hands.
Yeah.
So at that time it's in the hands of some people, and they go after the biggest. They're not even looking at you. That is yourself. So it's like kind of recognitions I'm talking about. And I've done so much. Like,
So what are you doing now to protect yourself? Because you made mention of people you working and doing a lot of things, but not getting the recognition, or people leaving your name out of it. So what are you doing in that regard to protect yourself?
well, times have changed.
Mm-hmm.
Times have changed. This is the era of social media. Everybody is now almost responsible for how they are being projected. You are not responsible for how you are being seen, because you have your phone. You can put it out there. It's easier to get on blogs right now. It's easier to get into the news by yourself. So social media has really helped a lot of things, and then also they are now Nigeria has moved away from the era of downloading to streaming.
Yeah.
And streaming, all these guys, they always have end credits. So you have to fill up. You have to fill the credits. You have to fill the person's name. Either the person is small or the person is big. You have to fill up. So there are now um, platforms available to project you. Even if you are not going to, even if you don't want to be projected, it will force you to come out, because those platforms are there.
Talk to me about some of your work. I know I've seen you with Bono Boy. I know I've seen you with the band. I know I've seen you with Idris Elba. I know that you have something you did with Wakanda Forever,
Right.
and honestly, it's really huge that you've worked with this caliber of people,
Yep.
people who are putting us on the global map. Right. Talk to me about some of the projects you've done with them.
Well, some I can't mention because we've signed NDAs. You can't disclose
Yeah.
some, but let me talk about the few ones that I've done in the past. I've worked on quite a few of major projects across the continent, movies, music projects, albums. I've sat down in the room with some of the big. If I will mention artists that I've not worked with in Nigeria, it's just going to be few. Sooner or later, something will bring me in the room with anybody I've not worked with, because the creative space is is a small space in terms of professionality. The likes of Kizana, all these top guys, they've gotten to the level in their career where the only people they want to work with are also the top guys. They want the best because the top guys, they have information. They know what sound is is going around. They know the new gimmicks. They know the new technologies. They know the new effects. They know that they have experience.
But talk to me about your Grammy nomination. How did it make you feel, though?
Well, when the artists are nominated and you've worked on those projects, you also automatically nominated. When they get the plaques, you get certificates of recognition for working on it. It makes you a Grammy-winning engineer or producer. I'm so happy about it. I was so happy about it. I was just praying. Sadly, they didn't win, but another one will come. That I'm sure of, and then we'll move from there. Right now, the Grammys is the biggest musical award globally, and then it's a very interesting thing to have worked on projects that have made it to those kind of platforms because it's global. It helps to prove that you know your onions. It helps to prove that you know what you are doing.
Talk to me about your role on the project Wakanda Forever. That's if you're allowed to talk about
Yeah,
that.
I can. When they wanted to do like sound design, movie scoring for Wakanda Forever Part 2, they decided to come to Africa to say, do you know what, to the let's go to the motherland. Director was here. Ryan Coogler was here. Ludwig Göransson was here. These are Oscar award-winning music composers. They've done some masterpiece. Super great guys. And they came to Africa. They chose about 2-3 countries to work in. And Nigeria was part of the countries that they chose to work out.
Nigeria, oh, it's not complete if
because
Nigeria is not there.
So and then and of course they came to the biggest production house
I love it.
in Nigeria and also on the continent, Ogidi Studios, and which happens to be the chief sound engineer. So it was a learning process for me. 2 weeks to watch, examine, and work under somebody that has won Oscars, several Oscars. To sit down and work with this person back to back, morning, day, and night. The whole building was locked down for them. Nobody else can enter the building, any part of the building.
What has been your most memorable project? I know you've done quite a number. What would you say is that one that you would always remember?
I'll go Wakanda Forever.
Why though?
Reason being that I've also done work on other movies that's also on the level of Wakanda Forever. I'm not allowed to mention names for now because the movies are not out. Basically because of the food that we had during Wakanda Forever.
Somebody please have I been speaking with a foodie or something?
I promise you, the food was crazy.
But they
Let me tell you about the food. So you see, the food is there. It's about maybe like about 8 to 10 pots is a buffet, and the buffet is not there's a time to go and eat. It's just anytime you feel hungry, just go there. I'm not talking about small food. I'm not talking about some low quality food. The kind of food that we are eating is the kind of food you'll probably be eating at, let's say, maybe a good hotel.
So it became your
Yes,
most
yeah,
memorable
yeah,
because of food.
because that food, I've worked on projects.
Yeah.
It's almost the same process, but this Wakanda Forever stands out because of the kind of welfare that we got.
So while we're speaking just off camera, and
Mm-hmm.
we spoke about the talents
Yes.
that we have in Nigeria,
Mm-hmm.
especially taking into cognizance what you do and how delicate and how you need to be extremely creative
Yeah.
to do what you do. And we also spoke about the Japa thing,
Yeah.
and you said you if you want to travel, you will. However, you've decided to stay in Nigeria. I would love us to have that conversation again.
You know, there's a Japa syndrome going on in Nigeria right now. Everybody is leaving the country. People like myself that are highly skilled. We are they call us hot cake in abroad because of my experience. I have experience and I have skills. And if I travel anywhere to anywhere in the world, I will not take too long to find work. And I'll work in some of the biggest places over there. And I'll make lots of money. Lots and lots and lots of money. But I chose to stay back in Nigeria because who else would do it? If all of us were leaving, who else is going to do it? We will always remain underdeveloped. People that are skilled as I am or better than I am, they don't stay in Nigeria because they want to make the value of their skills. So they go everywhere else in the world where they are highly paid. And success is relative. What is success to you might not be success to me.
Yeah.
And what is success to me might not be success to you. However, what I feel is that I am a champion here. Anywhere else in the world, I'll just be like, oh, another very dope guy. The difference would be that in abroad, a me in abroad will be richer than a me in Nigeria.
But you would
But a
rather
me in Nigeria will have more influence than a me in America. And
so you would rather have the influence than have
yes,
the money.
yeah.
And somehow with the influence you'd still make the money.
So, well, for for me, I have a very weird, I cannot say weird, I have a different perception when it comes to having money, when it comes to, wealth, financial power. For me, I feel that if you can afford a roof over your head, you can afford to eat what you want, you are mobile, you can pay your bills, I think it's fair.
Yes,
I
it
think you are
will.
okay. And you have control of your time. You don't have so much pressure on your head. You are not living and scared and watching your back. I'll, I'll take that over being very rich. I don't see so much financial power as success. So I chose to stay back in Nigeria because of some of these reasons. When anybody comes from the world, from any part of the world, and they come to Nigeria, they'll speak to people like myself. We need this done. We need this done. And somehow, I'm still in touch with the world.
Yeah.
Understand? So and I like freedom. Home is home. Home is sweet. There's no place better than home. I've traveled. I've been to some of the best parts of the world. I've traveled. I've seen what it is. I have that exposure, but I still choose to, be home based. Somebody needs to do it here. Somebody needs to, you know, lay the foundation for the growth, for the betterment of our entertainment sector. You know, train the younger ones. Not many people will have opportunity to go and learn abroad, to go and
Yeah.
train abroad. Here, people like myself can train people, and then before you know, we are developing fast. Yeah.
You made mention of the U.S. consulate, and I know you received a certification from them. But talk to me about how that happened and what exactly happened and how you got your certification, because it's obviously a big deal,
Yep.
and it's just a select few.
So they've seen my work. They've seen they've seen my footprint in almost every corner of the entertainment sector.
Yeah.
They've seen that I'm a success. They've seen that I'm promising. I have potentials, and then they are also aware of a program exchange that I went for in the U.S. Went about 5 states in the U.S. to exchange ideas, to teach people. I was in Howard University. I was in George Washington University in D.C. I was in New York. I was in several communities. And they've seen my contribution to the growth and exportation of Afrobeats from Nigeria to the rest of the world. And they've said, "Come, let's recognize you for it. We thank you. It might not be the Grammys, but the U.S. government says thank you for for your commitment, for participating in you know making the world a better place."
Balaji, would you describe your journey and what you do as a sound engineer as one who has been part and parcel of promoting Afrobeats to the global space and global community?
Yep, 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 yep. I've been in the industry since 2006. That's that's a long time, and I've
19 or
worked.
20, 19
Yeah,
years.
yes, I've worked on major records in Nigeria before now. Before I even started working in Ogidi Studios, I've worked like produced 2 albums for Jesse Jacks, engineered Jesse Jacks. Um, the list is endless. If I start to remember, I've worked with so many OGs back in the days, and I've continued to strive and continue to grow underground. You understand? Up until this moment. So my journey is an interesting journey. It's an interesting one. And it's also not. It has not been easy.
Yeah.
It has not been easy. So I mean, I'm glad.
Just as we wrap up this conversation today,
Yeah.
and it's really intriguing that we're having, listening to you say all of this. It's absolutely beautiful. But just as we wrap up this conversation, if there's one person you would love to work with, I
Hmm.
know you've worked with a lot of persons.
Hmm.
Who would that be right now?
Maybe Asha. Yeah.
Are you serious,
Yeah.
Asha? That's
Yeah.
really
Yeah. Maybe
beautiful.
Asha.
Why Asha though?
Well, because you see, Asha is is a. It's not just that she's unique. She's an enigma. Nobody has been able to replicate what she has done in the Nigerian music scene. Nobody has gotten to a level of creativity up until today. Nobody has been able to brand themselves or cross culture,
Interesting.
like from English to French, like Asha. Asha made very quality and music that was way ahead of its time as at when she became Asha. Take your time, go and sit down and listen to her first album. You would be wowed at how a woman can be that talented at that time. That's the only person that I think I need to experience her energy. I need to experience how she works. I need to experience how she writes music.
For you.
Yeah.
On a final note,
Yep.
Bolaji, when you're down, what keeps you going?
Well, everybody gets down.
Yeah.
Everybody gets down. For me, I was just crazy and mad about music. It's like cocaine for me. I can't do anything else aside from what I'm doing. I will not function anywhere else. Everything that I own, everything that I've accomplished in my life has been through music. And I just push myself up by the day, by the hour, by the minute, even when I'm not feeling it too.
Yeah.
I just push myself and say, man, this is the only thing you know how to do. There's nothing else.
If you weren't a sound engineer, what would you have been doing?
I would have been in the force.
Interesting.
Yes, because at some point in time I studied criminology.
I didn't see that coming though.
At some point in time I studied criminology. I have a thing for the Nigerian army. I don't know, I like power.
But I'm glad you didn't though.
Why?
I think I'm very happy. You didn't. But Bolaji, it has been really beautiful.
Yeah.
Talking to you and the
you.
amazing work that you do. I remember speaking with you off camera and you talked about the fact that you would keep grinding, keep working
Yeah.
until the Grammy comes.
Yeah.
And it's really amazing the kind of work that you do. So I'm just going to say thank you. It's been beautiful. Just getting into your space.
Yes.
And knowing you. I'm just going to say keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you very much.
It has been an absolutely amazing time just getting to know Bolaji Williams, also known as
Phazehop. Yeah.
My name is Esther Omelo, and this is what Leather Cotton Fall on this episode of Rapid Meets.